To all of you based here in Asia Pacific, good evening. To those of you dialing in from the US, and we have a number of people from North America, US as well as Canada dialing in, and some of you are dialing in from the East Coast. Really appreciate you all staying up. I see Amit taking his coffee there, so thanks for that. Delighted to welcome you all back to our 2024 online pitch event. My name is Frederick Nyberg. I'm the Managing Director for MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific based here in Singapore. We have a really exciting few hours ahead of us. I'm thrilled to welcome back a number of our veteran judges this year, but we also have a large number of first-time judges joining us this year. We'll come back to that in a moment. Thank you all for joining. We'll do a full onboarding and briefing for those of you who are judging for the first time, so you'll be completely comfortable with how this is going to work. There will be 4 rounds of presentations. All of our judges have indicated their preferences, and our scheduler has worked to assign our judges to only see the companies that are in your top tier. So we'll have 10 companies presenting, but the judges will typically just see their top 4 choices of the 10. What we'll do now in the next 20-25 minutes or so is I'll give everyone just a brief introduction to MedTech Innovator for those of you who are not familiar with who we are. We will then get all the 10 companies to give us a 1-minute introductory pitch. And the purpose of that is obviously for our YouTube audience to get a sense of who is presenting today and get to know our companies a bit better, but also for our judges who are not seeing all 10 companies. You will only see the 4, as I mentioned, but it will give the opportunity for the judges to hear at least the 1-minute pitch from all 10 companies. So we will come to that in just a second. Before I start sharing my screen, let me introduce you to the MedTech Innovator team. We have Bernice here and Glenn from our MedTech Innovator Singapore team. Lila is here as well from our APAC team. We have Sylvia and Jerry joining us from MedTech Innovator in the US. For those of you among our judges who may have any questions or challenges logging into your Kobo account, which is the online platform that we use for judging, reach out to Jerry on chat, and he'll be able to assist you. We'll come back to that as we do the orientation a little bit later on. So let me share my screen very quickly, and we'll begin today's session. So hopefully you can all see that. So this is our online pitch event number 1 for 2024. Our clinical focus today is going to be chronic disease management, radiology, cardiology, neuro, diagnostic imaging, GI, and urology. There are a few other topics we'll cover as well. Under today's umbrella, we may include some renal health companies, some in respiratory care, and some in emergency medicine. Let me just blow that up so you can all see that properly. Quick housekeeping note to begin with, and this is actually very important for our participants. Kindly rename yourself. So you click on the participants button at the bottom of your screen, right click, or you can click on the 3 dots next to your name as you hover over your own image. Right click, select rename, put a dash and the name of your company. So if you could all please do that ASAP, that would be great. Why is this important? Because Jerry is in charge of flight control. So he is the man who makes the magic happen during our breaks. And he will assign judges to the right breakout rooms and startups to the right breakout rooms. And he can't do that if he doesn't know the company that you're representing. So please do that to make it easier for us to assign you in between rounds. So again, I'm the Managing Director for MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific. A warm welcome to all of you. What I wanted to do now is just take a few minutes and introduce you to MedTech Innovator. If you are not speaking, kindly go on mute. And of course, as the startups will be doing their 1-minute pitches, you obviously have to unmute yourself, and I'll call on you individually at that point in time. So MedTech Innovator is the world's largest competition and accelerator for medical devices, digital health, and diagnostics. This photo was taken in, I believe this is from 2022, on the, I think during the grand finals at the main stage here in Singapore with our 2022 cohort of companies. So for those of you who go through our pitch events, get selected to the accelerator. The moment you're in the accelerator, you will automatically get invited to join this event in at the end of, towards the end of the year. This year, we'll come to that in a second. This will take place in September here in Singapore. And we'll hear more about that event and the conference a little bit later on. So we have been running the program in the US for 11, 12 years now. We, as I mentioned, we are the largest healthcare accelerator globally in terms of number of portfolio companies. We have a 5% acceptance rate in the US, slightly higher in APAC. I believe we're at 6-7% in Asia Pacific. Globally, we have well over 600 alumni companies. 95% of those are still active or have been acquired, which is tremendous, thinking that this has been running for 11 years now. So these are companies that have remained hugely successful. They have got, the 612 alumni companies have gone on to raise $7.6 billion in follow-on funding after the MedTech Innovator program. There have been 285 FDA approvals and 45, or I believe possibly even 46 as of 2 weeks ago, exits or acquisitions. We do have a global group of 500 plus reviewers, judges, and mentors, and you'll get to meet many of those judges here later today. We expanded the US and European program to APAC in 2019. So we have now been running this for 5 years. It is a 4-month virtual accelerator program. So for those of you who get selected to be part of this, you don't actually have to travel anywhere for the accelerator. It is a virtual program. There are a number of in-person events that do take place during the year, and we'll come to those in a second. You will also stand a chance to win up to $300,000 in completely non-dilutive financing and awards. So this is how the program, what the program looks like, and this is now the Asia Pacific part of this. We've had about 400 or so applications this year. We are in the process of selecting 50 to 60 companies to pitch. We have obviously selected the 10 for today's pitch event, and you'll get to hear from all of them in a moment. Out of those 50 or 60 companies, once they've all presented with our corporate partners, we will select the 20 best companies for the accelerator. And out of the 20, typically 4 or 5 will get selected to compete for the grand prize. One winner will walk away with $175,000 in completely non-dilutive cash. And as I mentioned, there will be other awards as well. In terms of dates, this is what 2024 looks like. So January through to March, our reviewers, corporate partners, and our non-corporate reviewers are evaluating, scoring those applications online. We've obviously made the selection for the 20th of March, which is today. As I mentioned, the road tour is for 50 or 60 companies that get selected to pitch during March or April. We are hosting 3 online virtual events like this one. The first one, of course, is today. The next one will be on the 3rd of April. We will have one on the 24th of April as well. And on the 16th, 17th of April, we will host our in-person pitch event here in Singapore. And the format of that will be a little bit different from last year. For those of you who participated, And there'll be more information coming out on social media in the coming days and weeks. This year, it will in fact be a full 2-day conference. We've named this MedTech Spotlight, and we will have 3 in-person pitch event sessions for up to 30 companies, including companies that will fly in for this event. We'll reach out to our judges after today's session and welcome all of you to join us for that. There will be other programming as well in conjunction with that. There will be panel discussions, there will be networking receptions, and other activities. So look out for more information about that, and please mark your calendars. May is when we will select 20 companies for the accelerator. And those companies will then get invited to join our Innovator Summit in San Francisco, middle of June. And that will take place in conjunction with the Wilson Sonsini Medical Device Conference. June to September is when we will host our or run the accelerator program. That will include corporate mentoring as well as weekly webinars. And 5th and 6th of September is when we will run the showcase and the grand finals in conjunction with the APAC MedTech Forum, and that will happen here in Singapore. I believe we have Gabriel here from APAC Med, and he'll give you a quick introduction to APAC Med during our next break. This is a photo from the Innovator Summit from last year, and we'll tell you more about that during one of our break sessions. We expect about 1,100 participants over 3 days. 400 to 500 will be at the Innovator Summit, and the balance will be at the Wilson Sonsini Conference. All of our cohort companies globally, from the US track as well as our Asia Pacific cohort, will have the opportunity to present to North American investors at that Wilson Sonsini Conference on the Friday of that week. So how do we evaluate and score our participating companies? So I'm not going to go through this in detail, but we'll look at our reviewers and judges. We'll look at this from 3 angles, from value, execution, and momentum. Value is about looking at your business model, looking at your value proposition, your product, IP, competitive advantage. Execution is about your regulatory pathway, your milestones that you may have accomplished, the strength of your team, clinical evidence, and validation. And momentum is how you are progressing against some of your targets, where you are in your development, where you are in your reimbursement strategy, commercial traction, validation from customers, and so on. So these are some of the parameters that our judges will look at as they evaluate the presentations today. As I mentioned earlier, we are running our grand finals and our showcase at the end of the year in partnership with APAC Med. APAC Med is the Asia Pacific Medical Technology Association, headquartered here in Singapore. And the photographs that you see here are all taken from the 2023 event and cohort. This took place here in Singapore at Suntech in December of last year. You'll hear more about this during one of our breaks. Now, we couldn't have done any of this without our partners, and we are immensely grateful for their support. Many of our partners have worked with us for years already, and we are very thankful for that. So a shout out to Johnson & Johnson MedTech, WL Gore, who in fact is a new partner for us for Asia Pacific, but they have worked with us in the US for a number of years already. Teleflex, B. Braun, Siemens Healthineers, Cambridge Consultants, and of course Enterprise Singapore and APAC Med. So thank you to all of you, and to our startups. You will have the opportunity to meet senior executives from each of these organizations today. They're here as part of our judging panel, and you'll get to interact with them and to meet with them during your presentations. Now, speaking of judges, I'd like to introduce everyone to today's judging panel. And you will see that we have 20 to 25 or so judges. Again, a warm welcome to all of our judges. We have several veteran judges who've been with us for for a number of years, and we have a number of first-time judges as well. A big thank you and welcome to all of you. Our judges that are highlighted in bold are, of course, our corporate partners. But you'll see that we have an interesting cross-section of participation from our ecosystem. We have service providers, we have trade associations, we have healthcare providers, we have regulators, we have investors and VCs here as well. So again, for our participating companies, you will have the opportunity to interact and meet with many of these judges during the pitch event. And during the pitch sessions. For our startups and for our judges, you all have access to the bio book. So because this is a virtual event, obviously you won't have the opportunity to physically exchange business cards. The bio book is there as a kind of a replacement for that. So you will see the bios of all of our judges, all of our presenting company founders and CEOs, as well as their full contact details. With that, we will move on to our lightning round. And the way this is going to work is that I will call, excuse me, on each of the 10 companies, and they will be presenting in alphabetical order. So there's no preference here given. And we'll call on them one by one. And they will have 60 seconds to present. I ask our participating companies not to exceed that. I will interrupt you if you go over that by more than 5 or 10 seconds. So try to stick to the 1 minute. Before we go into the individual companies, these are the 10 companies that will present today. So warm welcome to all of you. Interesting cross-section of geographies that are represented. We have companies here from Australia, from India, from Korea, China, as well as from the US and Canada, covering some very, very exciting cutting-edge technologies. And you'll hear from these companies of course, in just a moment. So let's begin. I will ask our founders and CEOs and company presenters to get ready. We will begin with Atmo Biosciences from Melbourne, Australia. I'll call on Dr. Adam Grimes. So Adam, if you can unmute yourself, and you may begin your presentation at any time.
Excellent. Thanks, Frederick. So yes, I'm Dr. Adam Grimes, co-founder and co-inventor at Atmo Biosciences. We're commercializing the world's first ingestible gas-sensing capsule to aid with diagnosing functional gut disorders. The technology senses critical gaseous fermentation byproducts at the source of production from within the gut to help unlock new insights and manage gut health. So as a tool to measure gut motility, that is how fast things move through the various regions of the gut, we're on the market in New Zealand, and we're currently submitting for regulatory approval in the US. And I'm looking forward to going into more detail during the coming pitch. Thanks.
Terrific. Thank you so much for that, Adam. We will look forward to hearing more about that during the pitch events. Second up, we have Cygnus Medical dialing in from, I believe, Ohio in the US. So we have Dr. Firas online. Please unmute yourself. The stage is yours.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm presenting here Cygnus. Cygnus tool is a device we use in endovascular work. Invariably, the patients who go this procedure, they lose blood. 1/3 of them will lose 8% of their blood. 1.3 to 4% of the patient will lose quarter of their blood, and that's associated with increased mortality, complication, and readmission rate. The readmission will cost $10,000 to $17,000. And the other drawback is in a neuro and peripheral intervention, we need 2 arterial access. In cardiology, we have to use a cumbersome manifold. The Cygnus device offers 0 blood leakage, and so we deal with the blood loss and have integrated pressure sensor, avoid the need for second arterial stick and its complication. And that's very important in the ischemic stroke treatment as well as in thrombectomies for pulmonary emboli or carotid stenting, since now we cannot do it because we don't have the luxury of time. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. We will move on to our third company, which is InAccel, based out of Bangalore, India. Presenting for InAccel is Shanuk Patel. Good morning, Shanuk.
Good morning, Frederick. Thank you, and thank you, everybody, for giving us this opportunity. I'm here to talk to you about VapCare. VapCare is a first-in-the-world automated secretion management and oral hygiene system for ventilated ICU patients. It introduces a new standard of care to the ICUs by automating what has traditionally been a manual process conducted by nurses and respiratory therapists. The device basically enables compliance to and consistency of infection prevention protocols, thereby reducing the risk of ventilator-associated infections, improves ICU efficiency, and enables the customization of care depending on patient condition. We're commercially available in India. We have global patents on the core technology, and we have US FDA and CE regulatory certifications as well. Looking forward to telling you all more about this device. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Shanuk. Looking forward to hearing more. Right. Next up, we have KA Imaging, dialing in from, I believe, Toronto, Canada. Presenting for KA Imaging, I believe, is Amol. So, Amol, welcome. Over to you.
Great. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate everyone being here, and good morning to those in Singapore, and good afternoon and good evening to across the world. So my name is Amol Karnik. I'm President and CEO and one of the co-founders of KA Imaging. What we've done is create what we call color X-ray or spectral X-ray. And the reason is, X-ray has been around 120 years. It's one of the first imaging modalities in the world. However, it lacks detail, it lacks capability of really understanding what you're seeing. So what we've done is create color X-ray. It allows us to understand better the images. We've actually shown in the saved CTs from the ICU, saving thousands and thousands of dollars for hospitals because they didn't have to transport those patients. We've got FDA clearance plus Europe, Canada, and 11 other jurisdictions. We've already started sales across the world, plus about a $10 to $15 million pipeline. We built a strong team, and I look forward to speaking to everyone later. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Amol, very interesting. We will move on to our next company. So from South Korea, we have MedTech. So I don't know if we have Sean here presenting or someone else from the MedTech team.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Hello,
Morning.
everyone. So my name is Sean. I'm the CTO of MedTech, and we are tackling the major issues in the conventional endoscopy systems. The occupational disease from the heavy conventional interfaces, long training period due to unintuitive interface, and the struggle with poor image quality. Our breakthrough, a lightweight motorized endoscopy system with the intuitive interface and full edge sensors with the expandable AI solutions, drastically reducing health risks for doctors, shortening learning curves, and delivering crystal clear diagnostic images. We've got KFDA registration this January. And for our team, a blend of experts in MedTech, hardware, AI, and software engineering is driven by a shared mission to elevate healthcare outcomes. We're not just creating a product, we're revolutionizing endoscopy by enhancing safety for doctors and accuracy for patients. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Looking forward to hearing more about that during the pitch events or during the pitch sessions. Great. Next up, we have Niramai dialing in from Bangalore, India. So I believe we have Dr. Geeta here presenting on behalf of Niramai. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Geeta, founder and CEO of Niramai Health Analytics. Yes, we are a deep tech startup from Bangalore, but I'm dialing in from Milan today, coming here to present in European Breast Cancer Conference. We have developed a new method of detecting breast cancer without touching or seeing the person in a completely automated manner. This product has resulted in 33 granted patents and also a US FDA cleared device and CE approved device. We have impacted 175,000 women, and we are probably the most awarded Indian startup today, going global right now in 10 countries. So let me talk to you about how this small device can be used for breast cancer screening.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. And I did not realize that you were in Europe, Gita. So thank you very much. I know it is very early in the morning for you. Thanks for joining us. Very good. We will move on. I believe we have Kirk Zeller here from Progressive Neuro, our next company dialing in from the US. Good evening, Kirk.
Good evening from California. I'm Kirk Zeller, CEO and co-founder of Progressive Neuro. We all know someone who has suffered from a stroke, I'm sure. And while in recent years there have been a lot of advancement in the treatment of stroke, existing devices generally require multiple attempts to remove a clot, and removing the clot expeditiously of the utmost importance for outcomes. We've developed a portfolio of patented devices. The lead device you see here, it encapsulates clots, and in our animal and bench studies is shown to get the clot in one pass. We are currently raising funding to do our first in-man and clinical study in Japan, where I have spent much of my career. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Kirk. Very exciting. Looking forward to hearing more. Next up, we have Pulnovo Medical. I believe Pulnovo are dialing in from Shanghai, China. And we have Executive VP Cynthia Chen presenting. Cynthia, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Frederick. Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia Chen. I'm the Executive Vice President of Pulnovo. Our company is developing a novel therapeutic device for acute decompensated heart failure. As many of you know, heart failure affects 64 million people worldwide and ranks as the #1 cause of hospitalization and mortality above 65, while acute decompensated heart failure accounts for the most costly cause. Due to the limitations of current treatments, a large proportion of patients have been observed congestion before discharge. We are developing a novel therapeutic device combining volume management, lymphatic modulation, and neuromodulation to improve poor prognosis. Our team has over 15 years of industry experiences and a unique blend of experiences in successfully commercializing innovative therapies, including commercial approval for the world's first-in-class therapeutic device. And we believe this innovative technology improves poor patient prognosis and mitigates societal burden. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Very exciting technology there. Next up, we have from Brisbane, Australia, Q-Heart Medical. Do we have someone representing Q-Heart here today?
Hi there. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Frederick? Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm Peter Walsh, founder at Q-Heart Medical. Resistant hypertension and hypertensive heart failure are highly unserved global health issues. Patients have poor quality of life, high mortality, and they cost a lot of money, up to $200 billion. We have developing two products, a surgical aortic recall device that has clinical first-in-man data showing cardiac output improvements of up to 30%. And we're also now developing an interventional transcatheter aortic recall repair device that has shown excellent pilot study performance data. These devices aim to improve the quality of life, decrease the high cost of management, and decrease mortality rates. We're currently seeking a round A investment of up to $10 million to fund single-site clinical trials on these disruptive technologies. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Peter. Very, very exciting stuff. Look forward to hearing more about that during the breakout sessions. So I believe our final company for today for these initial 1-minute presentations is Rumai Medical, dialing in from Shenzhen, China. I believe we have Dr. Ivan Istomin here. Ivan, good morning.
That's right. Good morning, Frederick. Pleasure to be here, and welcome to everyone. At Rumai, we're addressing the biggest foe of humanity, really the cardiovascular disease, and its part in vascular prosthesis of small diameter. You know, there's a lot of patients with arteriovenous access or peripheral artery disease, coronary artery disease, missing really small diameter blood vessels, and that's what we are producing from human stem cells. And those are to be immediately available off the shelf, and that will allow to revascularize those organs and tissues. looking forward to the wider pitch today. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that, Ivan. Really appreciate it. Very exciting stuff. So as you've seen, we have an incredibly exciting and innovative set of companies presenting today. We're delighted to have them all here and go into the pitch sessions in just a minute, and very diverse, of course, in terms of the geographies they represent as well. At this point in time, we are going to go into our closed door session. So this is a cue for my colleague Bernice. We can end our YouTube live stream at this point. Thank you to our YouTube viewers, and I will go in